My wife was missing for 3 days. But when she finally walked through the front door, the dog didn't bark. He whimpered and hid under the bed. Tuesday was supposed to be a late shift at the library for Clara. I had dinner warming in the oven, stuffed peppers. Favorite. But 9 p.m. turned into midnight, and midnight turned into a frantic police report by dawn. For 72 hours, my world was a blur of fluorescent lit precinct hallways and the metallic taste of too much black coffee. Then, on Friday morning, as the sun began to bleed a pale, sickly yellow through the blinds, I heard the turn of a key. The door creaked open. Clara stepped inside. She looked perfect. Her hair was pulled back in that neat, sensible bun she always wore for work. "I'm home, Elias," she said. Her voice was steady. Too steady. I lunged for her, wrapping her in a desperate hug. Instead, I felt a strange, damp coldness radiating from her skin. But it was the dog that stopped my heart. Barnaby was pressed into the corner of the kitchen, his hackles up. The police called it a fugue state. But the woman sitting across from me at the breakfast table was a stranger wearing my wife's face. Clara was right-handed. The woman in the kitchen now stirred her tea with her left. Clara hated cilantro. On Sunday, I watched her eat a handful of it straight from the fridge with an expressionless face. Now, she would sit in the armchair for hours, staring at the blank television screen, just staring into the black glass. I decided to set up a hidden camera. On Monday night, I watched the live feed. Clara stood up from the chair. She'd pull a book out, flip through 500 pages in 10 seconds, and slide it back with mathematical precision. Then, she turned toward the camera. She tilted her head at a 45-degree angle sharp. Bird-like snap and smiled. I searched her car. Under the spare tire, I found a small, leather-bound notebook I'd never seen before. It contained sketches of me. Next to my name were the words, "Primary anchor. Integration 84% complete." "Elias, tell me about the night we met in the rain," she whispered. "Describe the way your lungs felt when you laughed." As I spoke, her eyes would dilate, and she would repeat my words under her breath, as if recording them. The police had located her wandering near the Blackwood salt marshes. I drove there on a gray Wednesday. Inside an old boathouse, the floor was covered in a thick, translucent sludge. It was glowing with a faint pulse. I found Clara's actual coat in the corner. It was and next to it her wedding ring. There were dozens of them, translucent, skin-like membranes discarded like the shells of cicadas. They were all empty. A shape began to rise from the sludge. It was a mass of shifting, pale tissue, trying to knit itself into a form. I realized that Clara at home wasn't a ghost. She was a biological recording, an invasive species. When I burst through the front door, the house was silent. Stuffed peppers were on the table. The smell of vanilla was suffocating. "You're home early, Elias," Clara said. She was standing in the kitchen, holding a chef's knife, slicing onions with no tears. "Where's the dog?" I demanded. "He didn't fit the harmony of the house," she said. I processed him. I grabbed a heavy iron skillet and swung. The blow connected with her temple with a sickening thud. There was no blood, just a thick, clear fluid leaking from the wound. "Data entry. Physical resistance," she whispered. I managed to kick her off and scrambled toward the basement door. I slammed it, locking the deadbolt. From the other side, I heard a soft, rhythmic tapping. "Elias, why fight the inevitable? You're already in the notebook." I sat down at the kitchen table and buried my face in my hands. I looked up and saw a note. "Check the pantry." There, sitting on the floor, was Barnaby. He was wagging his tail. I hugged him, crying with relief. But then, I felt it. Under his golden fur, behind his left ear, was a small, silver-colored resin tag. I realized I hadn't taken a breath in 5 minutes. I walked to the hallway mirror. I looked perfect. I touched my temple where the other Clara had hit me. There was no scar, no wound. A thought appeared in my mind, not a memory. The code, subject Elias. Integration 100%. Begin day 1 of archive. I didn't recognize the man in the mirror. But the terrifying part was, he was exactly who I wanted to be.